Today, we bring you a story of desperation, survival, and systemic failure. A tragedy unfolding beneath the surface of Stilfontein, a former mining hub in South Africa's northwest province, has become a focal point for one of the most harrowing manifestations of illegal mining crisis in the country. Established in 1949 as a residential town to support the booming gold mining industry, Stilfontein town flourished alongside mines like Bafokeng and Ep70. However, the decline of South Africa's gold mining industry in the late 20th century, driven by decreasing gold prices and high operational costs and the depletion of accessible resources, led to the closure of these mines. The 2005 closure of Bafokeng mine, exacerbated by the earthquake damage, was a significant blow to Stilfontein's economy, leaving the community in economic despair. To know more about this story, stay tuned. Welcome back to the Fraud News channel. I'm your host, Boss Robert. To those who have already subscribed to the channel, I appreciate your support. To those who haven't subscribed yet, please show your brother some love. Back to the story. Once a thriving hub of gold mining, Stilfontein is now an epicenter of humanitarian crisis that defies belief. Reports from Stilfontein mines suggest that as many as 4,000 illegal miners, known locally as Zamas, are trapped underground and they are starving, sick and clinging to life. A letter smuggled to the surface revealed the horrifying conditions. Hunger so severe that claims of cannibalism have emerged. Let us listen to this report.
Now, illegal miners have started eating human flesh. That's according to Sanco Northwest spokesperson Mzukisi Jam. The claims were made in Christmas Eve letters sent to the surface, claiming that more miners have died.
Yesterday, we then got letters which were coming from underground with the content which we shared. But more disturbing from the content is when they highlighted that because of the situation underground, they have now resorted on eating human flesh. That's number one. I mean, that really changes everything. You know, when a human being is that desperate to an extent that they reach the level where cannibalism kicks in, it's scary. It's a dire situation.
Miners are disappearing as they attempt to escape through the dangerous shaft known as number 10. Their desperate plea for help reads, "People are always dying. We are weak from hunger. Please, just send food." For years, Zamas have braved unimaginable dangers in these abandoned mines. Poisonous gases, collapsing tunnels, gang violence, all to scrape out a living by mining gold. Many are immigrants from Lesotho, Mozambique and Zimbabwe, driven by poverty and drawn by soaring gold prices. But their hope for a better life has turned into a living nightmare. The government's response: Operation Vala Umgodi, a crackdown that cuts off food and water to force miners to the surface for arrest. The minister in the president, Kumbuzo, said, "We will smoke them out." Let us listen to the following video for a better context.
We're not sending help to criminals. We're going to smoke them out. They will come out. We're not sending help to criminals. Criminals are not to be helped. Criminals are to be persecuted. We didn't send them there. And they didn't go down there for the good benefit or good intentions for the Republic. So we can't help them. Those who want to help them, they must go and take the food down there. They will come out, we'll arrest them.
But at what cost? Critics call this strategy inhumane, decrying it as an act of cruelty against desperate, starving people. On social media, outrage is growing, with calls for immediate action to save lives. Human rights groups have not taken it lightly and they have voiced out their concerns. Listen to the following video.
Minister, our concern is the following rights. The inequalities that have already been mentioned. we are all equal before the law. Section 9 is very clear. Section 10 talks about human dignity. It is also very clear. It does not apply selectively. Our Constitution, not only does it protect us as citizens in the country, but it is for all that are in South Africa. So whether you talk non-nationals or whether you want to call them foreigners, in terms of our Constitution, that we are all saying it should be upheld, it protects everyone in the country. Minister, our other concern is Section 27, which is explicit. It talks about the right to food. It talks about the right to water. So those rights, when they're violated, they call upon us as Human Rights Commission to then do our part.
Furthermore, Stilfontein community activists and leaders have expressed concern over this attitude by the government, citing that they are taking action from the comfort of their offices, but have no idea of what is going on the ground. Let us listen to the following video for more information on this.
Well, we've got community leader, Mr. Thembile Botman, with us, Stilfontein community leader. Mr. Botman, a good evening to you. The community has been saying, let's save the lives of these men that are underground. Perhaps you can give me an idea of just how many you believe are underground, but this approach by police to say no food, no water, no resources, the words of the minister in the presidency, we're going to smoke them out. We do not help criminals. The community feeling differently about this approach?
Good evening to you and all the other colleagues that are here. Thank you very much for having us. Listen, the approach or the utterances that were said by the minister, I want to say they are very irresponsible and inhumane. We must start there. You see, the problem maybe of the leader of a caliber is that she does not know the reality. We wish, as the leaders in the community, they can come on the ground and see for themselves how are the conditions. Let me say, a month back, community members that are affected, that had families, came to us as leaders because we are mainly the activists in mining as the previously hosting community. So they had alerted us this Vala Umgodi, they had nothing from their families. We then approached the authorities and we made it clear that we do support the Operation Vala Umgodi. However, what was the plan of the authority, all of the operation in saving the people that are already inside the hole? And we find out there was no plan at all. There was no plan at all. And we are here standing firm to say, irrespective of nationality, irrespective of the illegality that we are doing, a life is a life. Section 11 of our Constitution stated clearly that everyone has a right to life.
Yeah. What do you
So
understand
where
at
we are
this point?
standing-
Yeah. Sorry. Apologies, Mr. Botman. I'm just trying to get as much done as possible. What do you understand at this point to be the state of these miners at this point? So are you getting any sort of information?
What we did when we started the operation from Margaret, we had to send, the conditions or dynamics of the shafts are different. Hence, we had to go physically at shaft number 11. The authorities requested that we must find people that are experienced. We had to come to the community and seek help for volunteers. And then we went there. I hear the spokesperson say the people are refusing to resurface. She was there today. She saw you cannot resurface. That shaft is 1,800 meters going down. And the only thing that you are relying on when you are underground is the operators on the surface. So therefore you cannot resurface on your own unless there are operators on the surface, and no one is saying anything about that. So the person that we sent, we had to send a person that knows the shaft to go and make analysis underground. That's the person came back and say, the intel is that people are more than 4,000 underground and they are sick. They don't have strength. They are sleeping next to the deceased. They don't have light underground.
Sure.
This tragedy isn't just about hunger underground. It's about the systemic failure of a society. Stilfontein, once built on the promise of God, collapsed when the mines closed. Jobs vanished, poverty took root, and illegal mining became a lifeline for those left behind. Today, Zamas sustain not just themselves but the entire local economies. Their suffering exposes a much deeper crisis, a failure of governance, corporate accountability, and economic justice. Advocates groups like Makua are stepping in where others have failed, delivering food and calling for mercy. On Christmas Eve, the community gathered to pray for the miners trapped below, their voices echoing solidarity. As a nation, one advocate said, we cannot celebrate while these miners remain in darkness. This is a failure of humanity. Others claim that illegal miners are just foot soldiers, but there are heavyweights behind them, and these are the ones the police and security forces should be targeting. Focusing on foot soldiers is not going to necessarily solve the problem, but looking at the whole value chain of this operation could be a better solution. Let us listen to an expert opinion on this matter.
Comparison to the people who sit at the very apex of this organized crime syndicate.
Where do you even start then with that sort of investigation? I mean, where do you pluck out the guys at the top, Chad?
Listen, if we look towards the media has been reporting on this and investigating this for some time now. Al Jazeera had a series on the illicit gold trade and the money laundering aspects in South Africa, Zimbabwe, and the UAE. Amabungane is busy reporting on it at this point in time as well. So we know who the role players are, but we don't see a concerted effort on the part of the authorities to go after the main players in all of this.
Yeah.
It seems that they're going after the low-hanging fruit, which are these Zama miners that are being caught up in all of this. But of course, if there wasn't this multifaceted laundering machine, this gold wouldn't be getting refined. You're not seeing this gold leaving our country as mining concentrate. Somewhere along the line, it has to be refined, and somewhere along the line, it has to enter the mainstream economy. And those are the people that are not being targeted, the people who are actually making the most money out of all of it.
Although the situation for Zamas and Stilfontein is becoming too complex to manage, others agree with the minister in the presidency that these illegal miners deserve no mercy as they are criminals at heart. Yet others claim that there are some innocent individuals who have been forced to become Zamas and should not be labeled as criminals as they are victims of human trafficking and forced labor. In light of this, I'm assuming that the victims of human trafficking and forced labor desperately want to come out, but the gang leaders and illegal mining mafias does not want to come out as they don't want to face the music. But they would rather demand supplies to help them stay underground longer, hoping that the operation will lose steam. Let us listen to some of the demands they are making.
So what on earth is going on in Stilfontein in the northwest? The illegal miners that are still underground are now making more demands. They're asking for, listen to this list, tomato sauce, mayonnaise, bath and laundry soap, tinned fish, detergent. In fact, last Friday they were asking for a candle, snuff and sorghum beer to perform a ritual to cleanse the shaft because there are people that have died there. The requests are really making a mockery of our rule of law, in my opinion. I mean, 2 illegal miners resurfaced yesterday with a note which contained this list that truly represents what you could say is a Christmas wish list. And I think they're now playing games. Remember a week ago, one of them resurfaced and gave a love letter for his wife to one of the community leaders who handed it over to the illegal miner's lover. The illegal miner then went underground, according to reports. And that's why I was asking a week ago if community leaders in Stilfontein are not aiding and abetting illegal miners. they've been defending the miners underground and pushing for food supplies to be sent down. But what are they doing to assist the police to get the miners to retreat and come out? So how should what's happening now inform the strategy by the police? Because giving them food prolongs their stay underground, and that's why some of those in authority have said that the court order that was granted a few weeks ago derails their work. Remember that court order ordered that essential items such as food, water, and some critical medical supplies be allowed to be sent underground. But the Zamas have now been demanding non-essential goods. I mean, what's next? Are they going to ask for custard? Are they going to ask for sparkling water? I think this is getting ridiculous. The court order does not allow for the provision of these items that they're now asking for. And at some point, the authorities have to act.
The Stilfontein crisis demands a delicate balance between enforcing the law, saving life, and managing social unrest. While illegal mining undermines the economy and fuels organized crime, punitive measures like cutting supplies risk criminalization of poverty and deepening humanitarian crisis, as trapped miners face starvation and death. At the same time, enforcement of the law disrupt local economies reliant on illegal mining, often sparking protest and unrest. A sustainable approach must prioritize immediate humanitarian aid to save lives, reform enforcement to dismantle criminal syndicates without endangering vulnerable miners, and invest in local economies to provide alternative livelihood. By engaging communities and fostering collaboration, authorities can uphold the law while addressing systemic poverty and restoring human dignity. I will be happy to hear your thoughts and potential solutions on this matter. Kindly indicate them in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. See you on the next video. God bless you.